evening and welcome to Up South, your window to South India every evening at 6:30 p.m. on India Today with me, T.S. Sudhir. The IIT Madras has banned and de-recognized a students group, the Ambedkar Periyar Study Circle, for allegedly flouting guidelines. The IIT said they were misusing the name of the institution there in Chennai, and this followed a directive which was sent to them by the HRD Ministry.
A premier institute with thousands of students vying for a coveted spot each year. But now, the IIT Madras finds itself in the eye of a raging storm after a campus crackdown on dissent against the government. The Ambedkar Periyar Study Circle has been gagged after an anonymous complaint to the HRD Ministry.
100 students feel that they are specifically targeted. They say that freedom of expression as well as the right to question the government are still considered taboo despite Section 66A being struck down.
The Student Forum is accused of spreading hatred against the Modi government, calling into question its policies such as the beef ban.
What is unconstitutional about saying that there is caste discrimination? We have to take affirmative action. I think these are exactly what is in Constitution too.
While students in Chennai were muzzled, in Delhi, student protests reached the doorstep of the HRD minister.
HRD Ministry has issued a notice to IIT Madras. They are trying to take away the freedom of speech, freedom of expression.
As the censor controversy snowballed, the institute made it clear that guidelines were flouted.
The student bodies can't use the name of IIT Madras or its official entities in any capacity to publicize their activities or garner support without an official permission.
That statement is very clear that some procedures by a students' organization was not followed, and the students' organization knew that if procedures are not followed, that student body will be de-recognized by the D.
As the protest peaked, the opposition launched an unrelenting attack on the government's stifling of dissidents. A clampdown on students' freedom of expression at one of the country's most prestigious institutions. Will the outrage against the blanket gag force the government to relook its strategy to tackle criticism? With Pratibha in Chennai, Bureau Report, India Today.
We heard from the HRD minister, the IIT management and also the students from IIT Madras on what happened there, that entire controversy. Let's also listen in to Professor Kancha Elaya, well-known author and Dalit activist, on his views on what happened at IIT Madras.
But one thing I can certainly tell, after this government came, various kinds of pressures are being put on the necessary academic freedoms that should exist in higher educational institutions.
This means broking no dissent at all?
Yeah, they are trying to stifle dissent. They are trying to stifle creative ideas, and they are trying to give directions which a government should never give to the higher educational institutions, which are autonomous in nature. For example, earlier there was this whole attempt to say that IIT should serve only vegetarian. I mean, the food rights of people in IIT cannot be taken away, whatever could be food that they eat. And now this is happening in this form. This is absolutely not acceptable for higher education.
So what are the implications that any form of criticism is not acceptable, that too in an institution like IIT?
No, the major implication is whatever Narendra Modi as Prime Minister has been trying to do in terms of development. The developmental ideas basically come from the universities, right, and they come from the dissent. They don't come from the acceptance or submission to the authorities. Right. Now, this kind of actions of de-recognizing clubs, de-recognizing study circle, de-recognizes whatever, ideological debates, completely stopping them, completely scuttles the idea of development itself.
Right. So very strong words there from Professor Kancha Elaya that in an institution like IIT for something like this to happen is extremely shocking and very negative for the academic world in general.
Joining me now from Chennai is Abhinav Surya, student of IIT and also the member of the Ambedkar Periyar Study Circle. Also my colleague Pratibha Raman joining me from Chennai. Mr. Abhinav, you think this is punishment for raising the issue of reservation inside IIT Madras? And do you think that the message that is being sent out is that freedom of expression is not an absolute right?
This is not just about freedom of expression. This is about the administration policy and the government policy of suppressing any voices that criticize their anti-people policies which oppress peasants, working class people and oppressed class people.
Right. Now, the IIT Madras, Abhinav, has sent out a statement, and I quote from there. It says that student bodies are not allowed to use the institute's name, that is IIT Madras, or any of its official entities in any capacity and without official approval. Now, this group, that is your group, has violated these guidelines while conducting their meeting, and therefore you are de-recognized. Now, you think that's a fair explanation?
No, we haven't used the name of IIT Madras. We never said APSC IIT Madras. We said this is an initiative by students of IIT Madras. That's it. We are saying that we are studying in IIT Madras, which I think it's fair enough. And also, this is just simply a reason to a silly reason, a vague reason to ban the democratic voices which are existing inside the institute.
Right. Pratibha, now you have heard both sides of the story and you spent the entire day at IIT Madras campus. The IIT management believes that they have misused the name of the Indian Institute of Technology Madras, while this particular study circle says they have not done anything of the sort. Now, do you think that the students are willing to accept the management's decision and probably there could be some kind of a meeting ground?
Well, at this point in time, no, Sudhir, because there is a lot of anger, pent-up frustration among the student body who claim that they weren't given a platform to explain their stand, and they say that they will fight all the restrictions that have been imposed. But in the meantime, the institute has promised that once the institute reopens in August, there would be a board of students who would be meeting, and there they would be providing a platform for these students to express their opinion. But the question is, until then, will the student body continue to remain de-recognized? And that is not something that is going to be accepted by the Ambedkar Periyar Study Circle here. So all eyes are on the student body on what kind of action or reaction that they would take to the action that has been imposed by the institute. Sudhir.
Right. Now, Abhinav Surya, do you see this as punishment for your criticism of the Modi government's policies? Because in one of the pamphlets that I read, you use strong language. It says that in the name of Swadeshi, the Modi government is selling Mother India. Now, do you think this is a reaction to what was written and published in that pamphlet?
Yes, this is more than punishment. This is the government trying to suppress any alternative views, the government trying to put down any democratic voices that tries to criticize the Hindutva propaganda that is the government is carrying forward.
Right. Abhinav, my last question to you, what has surprised most people is that this action was taken after an anonymous letter was sent to the HRD ministry, which was then, of course, forwarded to the management of the Indian Institute of Technology Madras. Now, do you think it was wrong to take action unilaterally based on an anonymous letter?
I am not sure if MHRD initiated action. MHRD directed the director of IIT Madras to take some decision on this. It was Dean of IIT Madras who authoritatively took a decision to de-recognize APSC, which is clearly undemocratic and unconstitutional.
Right. Pratibha, to bring back to the statement that has been issued by IIT Madras. Now, it says that normally violations of these guidelines lead to temporary de-recognition pending their presenting their stand to the board of students. Now, in the present case also, the same procedure is being followed. I ask the same question again. Now, is there any possibility of a rapprochement perhaps after the IIT director returns back to India?
Well, there are really several questions here. One, the anonymous letter, whether that is crucial evidence enough to be taken in this particular case. And number two, the fact that the institute has mentioned that they violated the code of conduct. Now, in this particular case, the guideline says that they cannot use the official name of IIT Madras, but then they have mentioned clearly that it is an initiative by the students of IIT Madras. So how is that valid in this particular case? So all these legal implications need to be first looked into. Yes, the director has to return. He is currently out of the country, so perhaps once he is back, he would be calling them. But then the student body do tell us that it's just been a direct mail that has come to them from a different student body. So how interactive is their communication? That is another question mark. And number two, whether at all they will be given a platform once the institute reopens, and all is the second question. Sudhir.
Right. Abhinav Surya and Pratibha Raman, thanks a lot for joining us here on Up South. Now, the Congress in Telangana is very, very angry with the state government, which is headed by the Telangana Rashtra Samiti, and that's because Sonia Gandhi, the former chairperson of the UPA government, has not been included in the class 10 social science textbooks because there's a chapter 22, which deals specially with the formation of the state of Telangana, and only K. Chandrasekhar Rao has been given all the credit. You can see the shots of the book on your screen right now. The chapter is titled The Movement for the Formation of Telangana State, and this, the non-inclusion of Sonia Gandhi, the Congress believes in Telangana, is very, very unfair. This has sparked off a war of words between the Congress and the Telangana Rashtra Samiti.
मेरा हमारा बेसिक आरोप है आपने वादा किया था, हम डिमांड से पहले आप खुद ही कहा कि तारीख में लिखी जाएंगी तो सोनिया गांधी के नाम से लिखी जाएंगी तारीख, ये केसीआर का वादा है। आपका वादा हम याद दिला रहे हैं, अगर तुम याद नहीं करेंगे तो हम आवाम की अदालत में जाएंगे।
See, we have to write about the history of Telangana and Congress's contribution to it. The history is deep. It runs very deep. We have to talk about the betrayal of Congress from 1956, the hegemony of Congress, the tyranny of Congress, the injustice perpetrated by successive Congress governments, and eventually the political exigency of Congress party in 2014. The compulsion that was conferred on them by the people of Telangana. We have to write a long story. So if Congress is prepared for that, we have no problem.
Right, and in what is seen as a setback to the Andhra Pradesh government, the National Human Rights Commission has recommended a CBI probe into the encounter in Chittoor forest area on the 7th of April. Remember, 20 alleged red sandal smugglers were killed in an encounter by the Special Task Force. All of them belong to Tamil Nadu, and the Tamil Nadu human rights activists and even the government there have been alleging that it was a fake encounter. NHRC has also recommended giving 5 lakh rupees as interim relief to families of each victim, conditional summons to the Chief Secretary and DGP of Andhra Pradesh, and to provide adequate protection to witnesses. The AP government has already ordered a probe by the Special Investigation Team headed by an IPS officer into the encounter, but the human rights activists have been crying foul over whether it will be an impartial probe. Now, after targeting youth who were found loitering around in the city well after midnight, the Hyderabad police has now turned their attention to drunkards, men who drink out in the open. In fact, on Thursday night, over 100 of them were actually detained, picked up and counseled by the Hyderabad police, and they are telling them that they should not drink in the open, and if they want to drink, they should drink at home. In fact, this is the pledge that they were made to take there at the Hyderabad police station. Over 100 of them taking the pledge that they will not drink in the open but only drink at home. Quite a funny way to actually reform all those people.
जो घर में बैठ के विरोध उसको नुकसान नहीं है।
Now, the monsoon is all set to hit the Kerala coast on Saturday if the Met Department's prediction comes right. And coming after a very, very harsh summer, that's the one thing that everyone in Kerala and the country are looking forward to.
Class 2 students Shalu and Malu are eagerly waiting for their school in Thiruvananthapuram to reopen next week so that they can use their new umbrellas. In the rest of Kerala, it is countdown time, with the state hours away from receiving its first monsoon showers.
എല്ലാ വർഷത്തെ പോലെയും ഈ വർഷവും കാലവർഷം പ്രതീക്ഷിക്കുകയാണ്. ശക്തമായ കാറ്റും മഴയും വരുമ്പോൾ നമ്മുടെ സ്കൂളിൻ്റെയും കോളേജിൻ്റെയും പരിസരങ്ങളിൽ വീഴാൻ തയ്യാറായി ധാരാളം വലിയ വൃക്ഷങ്ങൾ നിൽപ്പുണ്ട്.
In the last 10 days, occasional pre-monsoon showers have given some reason to cheer, a sort of curtain raiser to the much-awaited Kerala monsoon.
हम दिल्ली से बोल रहे हैं और इधर का मौसम के बारे में केरल का ये है कि इधर जितना भी गर्म आता है तो इतना जल्दी इधर बारिश आने का अफसोस है, पर बारिश जितना जल्दी इधर आएगा इतना जल्दी भी फिर खुल जाता है. पर मौसम इधर का मेरे को बहुत अच्छा लगा है.
The overcast sky, the sun playing hide and seek, is an indication that monsoon has arrived at Kerala's doorstep. With soaring temperatures and heat waves tormenting most parts of India, the country is awaiting good news from God's own country, the land where rain is born. With camera person Jayakumar, Revati Rajman in Kerala for India Today.
We'll be continuing to track the progress of the monsoon right from the time it hits the Kerala coast here on India Today. That's it then on Up South. This Friday evening news and updates will continue on India Today.